We've talked about this before. And look where we are again. That's you following through on your boundary. Remember, if you enforce boundaries that you don't follow through on, that's a safe reaction. That's the E in safe, right? And so you've got to make sure you follow through. That doesn't mean that this is over, but right now there's only one thing we need to think of, and that is not enabling the behavior. We're going to have to go through this. You're talking about going on a family trip, but we're talking about laying that boundary with his wife here. So he's had enough, okay? So did you tell her yesterday, like we talked about, where you'd say, listen, this isn't working for me anymore, I'm actually done? Did you do that or not yet?
No, I did. I said that.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened?
She chased me around trying to explain what happened this time, and that this was over, it was a mistake, and then I went to sleep in the other room.
Good. And so you didn't engage, you didn't keep going, you didn't, you just said, no, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah. I said, I'm done with this bullshit. That's my exact words.
Not the best, but fair enough. You want to make sure you're never presenting like contempt, anger, blame, anything like that. You just want to lay out the fact here, guys, right? So if you were going to go any further, it would be like, listen, the way that you've engaged with men, the way that I'm moving forward and I'm growing, I feel lonely. I'm doing this on my own, and I'm done with that, or whatever. Insert the feeling that you have, right? The point is, we don't want to push back. You're going to use that indisputable fact, and bullshit is not the indisputable fact, right? Does that make sense? So, not the end of the world. You're hurting. I get it. You didn't lose your shit. You didn't react in a bad way. So we can still work with this. So what I want you to do then is, you go home and see how she responds, right? But this begging, don't tear the family apart, you don't understand, none of that's taking responsibility. And you all know that because you've taken responsibility when you joined this program, right? So think about what you've learned. What are we looking for? The very first step is she has to take responsibility for what she's doing here, okay? From there, you have a trip with the kids. You said something in the text, I think, that was like, it could be difficult with the kids, or what did you mean by that?
Yeah, maybe it's 2 young kids. Overnight they're always trouble, but that's the thing, and it's like a thing. But I could still go by myself. She asked me actually, like, do you want me to go with them, or you go with them, or we still go together? And I was like, let me think about it.
So go to her today and say, I thought about it, and I'm going to take the kids by myself. Just own it. Forget it. It can be challenging. I get it. Even just having ridicule this morning and trying to do a bunch of work while Catherine had the girls out, like, I get it. Having all the kids, going overnight, overwhelming, just get into it, man. Be a man with kids, We can do it. We're capable. It's also feeding the sadness, having to do it alone and knowing the direction of where things are going if she doesn't start to realize it's rock bottom and it's time to make a change. So take the step, take the leap, sink or swim attitude. I'm going to go with my kids and have a blast. But let her know. I've thought about it. I'm not interested in having you come along. It's time that we do figure out how we're splitting this up. Right? You're waiting for her to have a reflection like, I've really fucked up here. And I'm ready to take responsibility for myself. And it's not about the affair. Think about all the things that have happened in your marriage while you've been growing as a man. Right? She's got to start doing some deep work here. It's not just like, I'm going to stop seeing guys. You're looking to hear from her why she wants something different. Right?
Yeah, she kind of attempted already right away, but I don't know what's the weight of it because she's just been like saying whatever I wanted to hear, right?
Yeah, you have to think about it. Remember when the roles were reversed, guys? Right? When you couldn't just use words, you had to learn with the reset to show up with action, right? And then any words that follow align, they match. So we don't really give a shit how sorry she is right now because we know that that's not probably real. When you know your husband's saying, I'm actually done with this. You're not even blowing up at her. You said bullshit, but like whatever, I'm done with this bullshit. It's not really blowing up, right? And so once again, you can be proud of who you are. You show up and you keep going like the direction that you need to go for yourself. And here, it's not enabling that behavior anymore, right? So
Yes.
when her words start to align, it will be different kinds of words first, right? You don't have time behind you for action, just like when you guys started the reset, right? That's the only way to prove with action. So the words would sound differently, right? The words wouldn't be defending herself with why she had an affair, or I'm not going to do this anymore and I'm so sorry. None of those words matter. The words would be deeper reflection, right? Like I've really been throwing my life away. I haven't shown up for about 12 months. You know, they're going to be thoughts that are a little bit deeper, like when you guys reached out to me and said, I want to do more. Like, I'm ready to take responsibility for the fact that I've treated you poorly, you know? And unless you're hearing different words, it's all going to be just the normal excuses or defensive blames. So just pay attention, Guillaume. Is it blame? Is it defensiveness? Is it justification? Right? That's what you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, perfectly. She's exactly in this phase right now where she's still defending herself. Last time was like, oh, because you were like not paying attention to me, kind of what's why I cheated on you. But I was like, this was bullshit. I was in the program and working on things, right?
Yeah.
And this time it was like, oh, because I just don't have anything to do. So this is how I create distraction for myself. I'm like, we've been here several months. She has never cleaned anything, you know, so she doesn't spend time with the kids.
Don't do that, because we know that. Don't put yourself through that, because we know it could be as simple as she can pick up a fucking
I'm justifying that indeed that's what she's saying. Like she's still defending herself or trying to justify instead of taking responsibility.
Exactly.
So you're spot on, yeah.
If you're hearing defensiveness, look, she's putting it on you again, so you're hearing blame. And she's making up bullshit excuses. And guys, you would do the same thing in the old days, okay? This isn't a woman thing. This is a man-woman thing. We use excuses and we think they're reasons because we need to justify it in ourselves. But when you're in the reset, you're not doing that anymore. And if you do, we call you out on it and we keep you pointed in the right direction, right? But what we're looking for her isn't for her to have the answers, but she needs to be coming at this, approaching this with a totally different, like, she needs to be curious, you know, is there things that I can do that could change this? And not in a desperate, needy way. That's first order change. I'm losing my husband. Is there anything I can do? Remember when you do that, please don't leave me? It needs to be genuine, like a real thought, like, I've fucking hurt you. Empathy. I can't believe that. That's a real reflection. And then she's come at you with, what can we do? Is there a plan? And then you need to be honest. Well, at this stage, I'm not sure it can move forward. We've talked about this before. And look where we are again. That's you following through on your boundary. Remember, if you enforce boundaries that you don't follow through on, that's a safe reaction. That's the E in safe. Right? And so, you've got to make sure you follow through. That doesn't mean that this is over. But right now, there's only one thing we need to think of. And that is not enabling the behavior. Right? That's what a boundary is for. It's protect you.
I just think that she may want to divorce, and she's just trying to put the blame on me, right? Or basically making me proceed there.
Yep, that's right. Like, so most people aren't going to want to be the one that says I quit, right? So if she gets to tell everybody that you left, and I did, I tried, I told them I wouldn't do that again, and like, this is what she's going to tell people. Right? She's not going to be like, actually, I've been sexting these guys, and I fucked this other guy, and he caught me, accidentally with my Apple Watch, and found out that I was comparing the sex we're having now to the sex I was having with the other guy. What the fuck? She's not doing that. Maybe to one girlfriend, two. You know what I mean? She's trying to make it okay in herself why she did it, and then now you're ending it. You see, all of the whole thing is you. Right? So remember, guys, when I talk about cheating, it's not that cheating is acceptable. I just get you to look deep and take responsibility for yourself. If you flip this, you've already done that. Right? And when she's still cheating, the cheating part needs to be addressed. Almost always. Sometimes we're lucky we don't have to. You just feel the love with your wife again. Everything's good. We're moving forward. the insecurities start to get washed. She works together with you on those insecurities. But we're not seeing any of that. It's just back on you. So you just got to remember that. Stay in your zone. Try not to use words like BS. Use undisputed facts. Right? Throw in a feeling if you want. You don't have to. You're not obligated to at this point.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I thought I was prepared because I was out for some time. But when I came back, despite trying to work on my anxiety and everything, as soon as she started justifying herself, my tone was a little angrier than I wish I had been. But that's why the BS came out.
But that's still okay.
But then I also walked away, That's why I was like, I don't want to stay here and talk.
Yeah, and, you can be really clear. Listen, I'm going to leave this room. You don't have to say, I don't want to stay here and talk. Like, be clear with what you're doing. Show her that you're leading, that you're a leader, and that's why you're not following into this crazy train bullshit story that she wants to create for your life.